Try to lift it up a little bit. That's got some gold on it, yeah. Feel it, yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
of course. Feel it. Lift it up. There you go.
That's amazing.
What do you guys like better, the ring or the medal? Both? I do.
Well, we get the chance to spend a little time with a gold medalist and hearing some questions. You'll hear a number of your questions. I'll let you know which one was my favorite at some point. But I want to go back to her story and her roots, just as a young person, and ask if there was a moment in your childhood when you realized faith mattered much to you personally.
I'm not sure if there was a specific moment, but more of just the way I was raised and my upbringing. A lot like you guys, I went to Catholic schools till I graduated high school, and I was very lucky to grow up in a faithful family with wonderful parents who made the faith important always. So I guess I kind of took it for granted and didn't realize how really important it was until probably high school when I started, taking a little bit more ownership of it and seeking things out for myself. And then I went to college, and that's when you really realize how lucky you were and how important the faith is. So it was more of just a gradual journey for me that started when I was little.
These students are somewhere between 13 and 18, and I'm wondering if you had a favorite saint when you were their age.
Yeah, I told the younger kids that when I was little, I loved St. Padre Pio because of just the awesome stories and how he brought people to the faith and how he heard confessions, just things like that. But then when I was a senior in high school, one of my mentors and teachers gave me a book, I Believe in Love, and it's written about St. Therese of Lisieux. And since then, she's been one of my most favorite saints. I just think she's such a beautiful example of humility and opened my eyes to ways of thinking about faith and about myself that I hadn't really realized. So that kind of opened myself up.
How does your faith stay alive in the middle of a demanding, fast-paced athletic career?
I just think it takes a lot of effort and habits. I've realized that you kind of need to build habits that keep the faith at the center. And for me, that I have to do it in the morning, or I don't know, you guys I'm sure are busy, and in sports and stuff, it's hard to find time. So I love to get up early and do my scripture right in the morning. You guys know Bible in a Year with Father Mike Schmitz. So I'm working through that. I'm on day 170 probably. So I do that right in the morning, so I know I'll get it done. And then that just sets the day. It keeps God at the center. It sets the tone for the rest of the day. And then I do my best to, supplement Mass or going to adoration, just finding time to pray. I think that's huge for me.
Do you have a prayer or a ritual that you do before games that you do just as a person of faith?
Yeah, if you play sports, I don't know if you guys write little things or write Bible verses. On my hockey stick on the top where I hold it, I like to write AMDG. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but Ad me horum Dei gloria. So it's Latin for the greater glory of God.
There are a lot of Latinists around here.
Awesome.
How is she with her Latin there?
How
is it
was
okay?
Not great? Okay, well, I could spell it at least. But that's something that I did in high school and our high school did, and I just kept it going because I do it right before I play when I tape my sticks, and it just reminds me of why I do it and who gave me these gifts to play the sport, and just kind of centers me. And then when I put my jersey on, I just kind of have a habit of saying, thank you, Jesus, for this opportunity. Help me to glorify you in success and failure, and give me a spirit of whatever I need that day. If it's courage or joy or humility, I just ask for grace.
How do your teammates respond when they see you as a person of faith?
I think it's been very positive throughout my whole career. Especially, I think when I went to college, I came from a culture like this where everyone that you're going to school with and you're playing sports with are all faithful or accepting of faith, and then you go to college and you realize that life's maybe not like that. So at first, when I was a freshman in college, I was like, I feel like I'm kind of alone. Like people don't talk about the faith. I'm not seeing people go to mass, but I stuck with it. I kept going to mass, trying to live virtuously, and it opens up the doors for a lot of people to have conversations. I've been so lucky to be able to bring teammates to mass, or bring people back that maybe haven't gone to mass since they were little or kind of lost their way. I just think that living it out in that way, it's been really positive, and people see that you live in a way and that you're joyful and that you have something and they want to know more about it. So it's been really cool.
How has God surprised you in your career?
I think he surprised me most in setbacks. Something that when they're happening in the moment, I'm maybe not very grateful for them. They're tough and they stink, but I look back years later or months later and I realize that he was teaching me way more in those moments, in the setbacks and the failures, than when I'm winning gold medals. He meets me in those darker moments and the tough moments and gives me a lot of good things through them.
Speaking of gold medals, let's show you the gold medal here that she and U.S. hockey women have won just a month ago. She just weighed it on one of our official scales. Tell them how much it weighs.
About a pound, I think.
Yeah, just over a pound. 18.7 ounces. 1 point whatever pounds.
It's heavy, so if you guys can feel it later, you got to try to hold it up.
Okay, when did you first dream of becoming a hockey player?
Well, I've been playing hockey since I was 3 or 4 years old. In our backyard, my dad built a hockey rink, and I've always loved hockey. I played a lot of different sports, like track and soccer, but hockey was always my favorite. And I'm a competitive. I love the challenge of it. And I think when I was probably 8 to 10 years old is when I realized I had a dream of going to the Olympics. So I'm watching in 2010 the women play on TV. And I think my mom tells me that I told her I'm going to play in the Olympics one day. And she, I think, probably laughed and thought it was really cute and dismissed it and whatever, this kid. And then here we are, and she tells me that story now. So it was just seeing women excel in the sport and seeing them achieve things that made me inspired. And I remember drawing the rings in my notebook when I was in class, not paying attention to school probably, but.
They don't know what that's like.
No, I doubt it.
What's a day in the life of a professional hockey player like?
It varies a lot. I think our schedule, we have random schedules and games. We're traveling all over the place. But, if it's just a normal practice day, maybe I'm at the rink for 5 or 6 hours. I think it's the best job, you guys. It's way better than what these guys have to do. They come and work for 9 or 10 hours a day, but I just get to, usually sleep in a little bit and go to the rink, get treatment, take care of my body, probably do some sort of workout, and then skate for an hour or two, maybe some meetings. But it's very fun. I enjoy it a lot, and I get paid to play a sport, so it's pretty nice.
How do you balance it all? Training, rest, travel. You're traveling a lot. You were traveling today, but you travel a lot. How do you balance it all?
Yeah, I love the fast-paced life. I've always been doing a bunch of things, and I'm sure all you guys are busy with your extracurriculars and school. So I love it, and I love the people that I do it with. That makes it better. But I think to stay grounded and to keep going and to remain peaceful, I have to keep my faith as the center of it. There's been times in my life where I've maybe been distracted or let the busyness and the sports kind of take over and become my first priority, and I just found myself getting overwhelmed and you get anxious, and I just find that if I'm not properly ordering the things in my life, it makes it a lot harder. So I have to keep my faith as the most important thing, and that brings me a lot of peace with it all.
You and your husband are parishioners at Saint Agnes Church. Talk about how you made the decision, or why Saint Agnes for your weekend worship.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was kind of random. Like we bought a house in the area, so we were just kind of trying to figure out where do we go to mass that's convenient, that's close. So we're close to here, and we just went to a mass one Sunday, and I just found it was very welcoming and open. I thought that there was that traditional sense. The people going there, you could tell they were faithful. They took it seriously, and I loved the church. It was old, it had character. Yeah, it's been great for us. I've been traveling all over. I swear I don't go to the same church for a Sunday mass during the season 2 weeks in a row. But yeah, we've loved being close here, and Andrew's loved coaching here. So.
And it teaches you probably a little more Latin than your 4 words.
And the Latin Mass, yes, that I know all of.
Okay. Talk with us about a moment in hockey that shook you. An injury, a disappointment, failure, when you had to lean on God in a deeper way. Tell a story or two on that front.
Okay, buckle up, everybody. Here's a story. So I made the Olympics this year, obviously, you guys saw, but 4 years ago, the last Winter Olympics was in China, and this is during COVID. I'm sure you remember. But I was one of the 30 players that was selected to essentially try out for the last Olympic team. So at the time, they had all 30 players come together during the fall and the early winter to train, play games, and then from there, they were going to select the team. So I was in college, and I had to take the year off. So I completely didn't take classes, wasn't in school, didn't play college, moved here to the cities where they were centralizing everybody. So we're training. There's 30 of us trying to get these spots. And you're playing games, you're traveling around. It's stressful. Everyone wants to make the team. And I felt like I was kind of in the middle of the bubble. Like it was going to take some work for me to make this team. So some cuts go by, they narrow it down to 26, 27, and then December comes, and we all know like something's got to happen soon. They're going to have to make their final cuts here. And then I get a phone call from the general manager. I'm in my apartment, and I'm like, oh God, this can't be good. So they asked me to come into the office, and I go in, and they say, like, we're sorry, we think you're a great person, player, and we think you can be here one day, but it's just not going to be this year. So I got cut. I was the last cut at the last Olympics, and I mean, it's something you've wanted your whole life, right? It's kind of a gut punch. So I pack up my car and I drive home to Bismarck for a few weeks just to kind of reset and be with my family. And then you got to move on. So I go back to Madison, back to where I went to college, and just practicing. Obviously, again, I wasn't in school. I wasn't playing on the team, but I was just there training. And so then the Olympics roll around and they're playing, and I'm watching from a distance, It sucks, but... And then I get another phone call. Hey, Britta, someone got hurt at the Olympics. Would you come over and help the team and join us for the Olympics, for the rest of the Olympics? I'm like, sure. Like, heck yeah, I'll be on the Olympics. So I'm like, this is it. Like, this is kind of why it all happened. Like, God had this plan. This is my dream come true. I get to now go. So it's during COVID. They're super careful with the Olympics and have to take a bunch of COVID tests and get everything ready in like 24 hours. And then they fly me to Los Angeles, and there they process everything. They give you all your gear and your clothes, and you got like 1 or 2 more COVID tests before you get to leave. And I'm going to bed in the hotel, and we're supposed to leave at, I think, 8 a.m. the next morning to go to the airport to fly over to China. And I wake up from a phone call around 7 a.m. Britta, did you check your email this morning? No. You tested positive for COVID, so you can't go. You've got to be kidding me. So that was so tough. Just the roller coaster, the ups and downs, and thinking you're going, and then you're not, and then you're going, and then you're not. So I rented a rental car, and I drove from Los Angeles to North Dakota back home. And while it was so disappointing and so frustrating, and I remember there were tears and phone calls, but also like on that drive, I'm driving through the mountains and I'm silent in my car alone. I'm like, why am I so like weirdly peaceful? I think like it was God's way of teaching me so many things, and him just telling me to rely on him more. And I look back and I'm honestly very, very grateful for that experience. Like, I don't think I would trade that for much, so.
Amazing story. What did God teach you in the midst of your seasons of waiting, frustration, doubts? What has God been teaching you in all of that?
It's still ongoing, and there's so many things still that I'm working through, but I think a lot of it was detachment from my sport, from the things that I think I want or that I need. It's easy to get so focused on achieving this or getting to this point or putting all of your self-worth in your sport or the things that you do. And I think it was God's way of saying, like, you need me way more than you need your sport. And you're going to be okay if your sport fails you or if whatever it is fails you. Like, you got to keep me in the number one priority. And if you do that, like, no matter what comes, if I never win another championship again, I'll still be fulfilled and I'll still be happy. So,
which virtues have been the most important in your career and that hockey has taught you or that life has taught you?
I think of two virtues. I think one is persistence. I think that story I just told you tells it all, but it takes a lot of courage and continuing to get up when you fall and when you fail. And that's not even in the big moments, even every single day when I go to the rink, I'm messing up a drill or I'm missing a shot. Like, it's those little ways of training yourself for greater life and continuing to push forward when things aren't easy or when you fail yourself. And then I think the other one is humility. There's not as good of opportunities as what sport give you to learn humility. I think you realize every day you're not as good as you thought you were, or you're not as good as this player, or you need to work on this. I think that's such a beautiful way to live, to so many opportunities every single day that I can work on humility. So,
speaking of lack of virtue, have you ever been in a fight and who won? This comes right from the students. So students, this is your question. I'm happy to represent you.
I have been in plenty of fights. If you've ever watched me play, or if you ever do watch me play, I like to play on the edge a little bit. I'm very physical. I sometimes find myself in the penalty box, unfortunately. But yeah, definitely get involved. I think last night I was in a little bit of a scuffle in the game last night, but no penalties, so I'm all good.
This comes from for sure a hockey player. What was it, the curve of your stick or something along these lines? What was the exact with the degree angle of something? The curve. Yeah. I don't even know what that means.
I use P92. 65 flex. Yeah. I can give you the specs later.
CCM or Bauer?
Bauer.
Okay, so whoever the hockey players are, I represented your questions as much as I could. I have no idea what any of that means, and I'm happy to move on. When you won the gold medal, what was going through your mind, your heart, your soul?
Well, the first, couple minutes is just pure excitement, pure joy. I mean, winning any overtime game is super exciting, but when there's a gold medal at the end of it and you're jumping over the boards and you're throwing your sticks and your gloves and you don't care who it hits. I think someone threw their helmet over the glass at some point. And you're just jumping on each other, hugging each other. It's just pure, like, you just can't even describe it, like the emotions. I remember a few minutes after all the players were hugging, we went over to the bench where all of our staff was and everyone was giving our staff hugs. And I could not physically control myself. Just tears were coming down my face. It was like everything was just boiling over, just all the work and the time and effort it took. And then once things started settling down a little bit, I looked up into the stands over the glass and I saw my family there and Andrew, and I was like, I might get in trouble for this, but I don't really care. So I like got off the ice and walked out onto the carpet over there and said hi to them and just realized how grateful I was for them and the things that they did for me.
That moment certainly changed your life. How has it changed your life? Do you understand the ways in which it has, and how will it change your life?
I don't think I fully understand it yet. I don't think there's been enough time that's passed where I'll really let it fully sink in. But I just think of the opportunities that it's going to open up for me, like just being here in front of you guys to be able to talk and share my story and my faith. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. And I brought like a whole country together. All of you guys watching, it was all across the country, people coming together and celebrating something together. I think we need that. And that's been kind of the coolest part for me, is seeing the joy that it's brought to people.
How did the winning of the gold medal compare to winning the PWHL championship? And if you can show your ring, she won a with the Frost last year. They won the championship for the entire PWHL. This is her ring.
Yeah, it's so hard when people ask me to like compare championships. I've won national championships in college. Those were unbelievable. And then winning a Walter Cup professionally, such like a long and grueling season, and you get to the end and there's, I think, like 4 overtime games in a row, and it's hard and you're battling through it, and then you end up winning. Like, that was unbelievable in my first season. But there's literally nothing that can compare to winning an Olympic gold medal. Like, it's the highest pinnacle that I could reach. It's the biggest thing that you can win. So that has to be the cherry on top for sure.
Favorite church or chapel that you've visited in the rest of the world?
At the Olympics, actually, in Milan, the Duomo, if you've heard of it, it's the cathedral there in Milan. Unbelievable, absolutely beautiful. If you look up pictures of it, it doesn't even compare to seeing it in person. Like, I literally, my jaw hit the cement on the ground when I first came around the corner and saw it. It was so cool. So there's been a lot of really grand cathedrals like that I've seen around the world, but also I kind of love going to Toronto or Ottawa or these random places to play and just finding a random chapel or church that has mass near me whenever I need it. I think those are the coolest parts too, is getting to experience so much.
How does the Eucharist strengthen you as an athlete and as a woman of faith?
I don't have enough time literally to talk about it. It's been everything for me. Like, everything that you guys see, the grace, the success, whatever virtue I have, it literally only comes from Christ and the Eucharist. I try to keep it at the center. I try to go as much as I can to Mass and receive it as much as I can, because like, I'm nothing without it, and it strengthens me a lot.
If you could leave these students with one powerful message about faith, identity, and loving God, what would it be?
I would say whatever you guys are passionate about, whatever you want to do with your life, just take it from me. Like, if that's your only goal, you're going to end up feeling a little bit kind of unfulfilled. If you keep Christ at the center of it, and if you pursue him more than anything else, whatever you do is going to be amazing. It's going to be filled with joy. You're going to be have a meaningful life. So just keep Christ at the center of it.
What would you tell your 15-year-old self if you could go back, or 16 or 17 or 18?
I always think about how lucky I was to be in a really good community, and I think you guys have it. I can see it here. You have a really strong faith. You have a strong school, your teachers and your priests and your faculty. Like, I didn't realize how lucky I was until I left, and I think you guys will find the same thing. But really appreciate where you are, strengthen your faith while it's easy, right? While you have all the resources, because you're gonna need it. So just really soak it all in.
One prayer you'd encourage them to pray every week or every day, every month?
I talked a lot about humility and how I'm working on it. But one prayer that I pray almost daily is the Litany of Humility. If you guys have prayed it or heard of it. Got some fans back there. Almost every time I pray it, something will happen to me where I'll be humiliated, or something will happen where I like look at God and I'm like, okay, I wasn't that serious about it. Like, that's a little too much. But no, he gives me so many opportunities, and I think praying that daily just keeps reminding me of the opportunities that I have to either choose to put myself first and to be prideful, or to learn from and appreciate all the ways that I can be made small and be reminded who I am.
This comes from the hockey players among us. What's the nastiest goal you've ever scored? I don't even know what that means, but I'm happy to ask it on their behalf.
I scored one this year. It was like off a face-off, and basically I came around, got the puck behind the center, and I was like on the goal line, so like almost behind the net, and I shot it and banked it off the goalie's head, the temple, into the net. Headshot.
How do you avoid getting burned out from playing and practicing every day? Clearly, they speak from experience in asking this question.
I mean, I've always thought it's super important to like rest when you can. I know now it's really common to like be playing your sport all the time and all year, but like I need to do other things. So when my season's over, like I literally will take like 7 or 8 weeks and not touch the ice. Like, I just think it helps me reset. I want to be excited. I want to love what I'm doing, and whatever you guys are doing, like find time away, find other things that you love to do. I like to play music, so I like to like play guitar, piano, sing, like those things that kind of fill you up and fill your cup. Those are the things that make me excited to go back to it.
Do you get enough sleep every night? This is a particular pet of mine to remind them about.
Ask my husband. I get a lot of sleep. Yeah, at least 8 hours. I can't function without sleep.
So from an Olympic athlete, get 8 hours of sleep every night. Okay. Talk about the best part of being a professional athlete.
Honestly, I love playing hockey. It's something that I really, really enjoy to do, but I think it's all the moments off the ice that I get to be with my teammates. They're my best friends, and there's so many laughs and road trips. Like, it feels like you're your age again. Like, it feels like I'm like 12 and I'm like at a tournament on the weekends. Like, we're just messing around and having fun. I don't know. That's why I think like I could do this for a long time, is because you keep it fun and you get to be with really amazing people.
Who are your top 3 favorite hockey players of all time?
From the women's side, I would say the Lamoureux twins. I don't know if you guys know of them. They're a little bit older. They played on the Olympic team, but they're from North Dakota, so I watched them growing up, and they were kind of my idols at the time. I think Kendall Coyne, she's on my team right now, but she's like a mother, and she's such an amazing person and such a good example of just how I want to live one day. And then, I mean, on the men's side, like, I grew up in North Dakota, so I was a UND fan, so like TJ Oshie and Jonathan Taves and people like that.
Good. How have the Frost been so successful? That's the name, for those of you who don't know, of the women's hockey team in Minnesota, the Minnesota Frost. How have the Frost been so successful?
I think a lot of it is, people talk about culture all the time, but I think when you have not just your players on the team, but even our staff, like, people are committed to what they're doing and they go above and beyond what's asked of them. when you see examples like that all around you, like you can't not do it. Like you have to raise the bar. I think that's part of it. And then just like habits. I think that's something really small every day that builds up into something really big at the end. So when you're in practice and you don't let the little things fly by, like you have to make sure you're doing the little things well every single day.
After winning an Olympic gold medal, what is your next goal? This is right from all of them.
I will say, obviously I've won things, I've won championships and awards and stuff, but I don't really like focus on the end just because I don't think that's the best part. I think the best part is like the process leading up to it. So obviously I want to win a Walter Cup this year with the Frost, and that's our team goal. But like, I just think about like every night, like if I'm playing in a game, like I want to be my best for that game. So it's hard for me to tell you specific goals when it's just like an everyday thing, and I don't know, just want to show up my best.
What do you plan to do after you're finished with your professional hockey career?
That's up in the air, I guess, right now. I hope to stay involved in hockey. I love to coach, so I coach, youth in my off seasons, and I like to stay involved in the game. I want to have a family. I want to be a mother. I think that's kind of the highest calling that I could hope for. So if God blesses me with that, that's my end goal. And then who knows what else.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Britta Curl-Salemme.